there isn't anything like really standing out where I feel like these are superior over anything. They're a good balance, you could say, but there's nothing about them that makes me scream like these are the epitome of comfort or anything like that, you know. They're just they're pretty good all around. I can't think of like a major negative or a major positive about them. They're pretty solid. All right, I think we're ready for this one. Good day to you all. I hope this video finds you well. We got the Wow Slade, viewer requested. I've kind of had my eye on this one for a while, but was holding out until someone asked for it. And that day has finally come. So I ordered them up. I went down. They apparently run big. I didn't want to go all the way down to a 10, just based on my experience with the, what was that last? Large Chinese slide, the Whale 2. Based on my Whale 2 experience, going down to a 10 was too much. And they only come in whole sizes, so I went with the 11. So hopefully that is good enough. We shall find out momentarily. I went with the lizard colorway. I think it's kind of new. I remember checking these out a while back, and I don't recall ever seeing this lizard. So I thought they looked pretty good. A little more vibrant than the other ones. A little skin right there. A little crease right there. These might have been purchased and returned. They look very wide foot friendly. Let's pull them out the box, and I've got the, all right, that took care of that for me. I've got the write-up on the website. Let me pick up this box and then we'll read the write-up. Looks like we've got some tags here. Made in China. All right. Let's see what they have to say about the Wade slide. This is in the lizard colorway. There is 135 reviews and they have 4 stars. They retail for $59 USD. Comfortable for casual wear with forefoot and rear foot boom. Made of one-piece EVA foam for lightweight, tear resistance, and strong durability, inspired by Way of Wade 7 and decorated with Dwayne Wade's signature with round cutouts on vamp for quicker airflow inside the shoe. All right, they've got a few different, they've got white, gray, cherry blossom, which is a pink, the lizard color I got. Then they have a beige and also an avocado, which is like a pale green. Kind of like that Barely Volt color that we got the Rejuvenate slides in. So I don't recall seeing this lizard color the last time I was checking these out. I think the avocado was the last one I was kind of eyeing. It was the only other decent color aside from the pink. I mean, the only actual color that wasn't like monochromatic, you know, with the grays and stuff. But anyways. And it says they suggest ordering 1 size down for casual fit and 2 sizes down for a snug fit. I'm wondering if I should have went with the 10s now. We shall find out. If these are massive on me, I will send them back for a 10 and we'll give that 10 a try. They've got a few more details here. Excellent cushioning. Boom inside with one under forefoot and the other under rear foot for more springiness and bounce. Suitable for daily outfit, casual wear, and after-game leisure activities. Strong durability, made of one-piece EVA foam for lightweight and tear resistance. Vamp made of EVA and outsole made of rubber and EVA to enhance traction on wet surfaces. Superior comfort, round cutouts on vamp for quicker airflow and a higher rate of sweat evaporation, providing dry and clean feelings surrounding feet. Clean feelings. Unique design, inspired by Way of Wade 7, designed in teal, with the logo of Way of Wade on the vamp, and Dwayne Wade's signature on one side of the shoe. Okay. I don't know basketballs very much. I assume Dwayne Wade is a basketball player. Forgive my lack of knowledge on the basketballs. All right, let's check these out. These are pretty funky looking. Let me get everything situated for an in-hand inspection. Okay. So, at a glance, these look like a pair of slippers. Just with the large opening on the rear foot and kind of this straight cut at the opening here, they just look like a pair of slippers as far as like the shape and the silhouette goes. But then these large bounce pads are very unique to these slides. I have yet to come across any other design that looks as futuristic. These are like a Jetsons slide. They've got a little bit of weight to them. This EVA feels rather dense, so I'm curious how squishy these are going to be, how much compression there's going to be. I feel a little bit of compression just under the thumb, which is usually a good sign. If I can compress it a little bit just with my hands, then it usually has a little bit of a squish to it. So let's we'll continue looking at it. So we've got a little rubber insert right here. It just looks like it's a visual design component, aesthetic component. This little purple colorway, which is also on the top, little medallion. I noticed these are offset just a little bit. It was like that too. That's just sloppy. I noticed that in the photos too when I was looking at them. I was like, one of them looks like it's offset a little bit. It's not a lot, but I'm just neurotic, so I see like the tiny little details, and I just noticed that is off just like maybe 5-10 degrees from the other one. You can see it's just tilted a little bit, but anyways. So we've got I think that's the Way of Wade emblem. There's our holes on vamp. I'm assuming this is the vamp. I should probably research that. So this feels pretty meaty. It's kind of thick right here, and then it gets a little thinner towards the front here, which might allow for a good pivot of the foot inside. So it'll allow a little bit of a roll and pivot, but it thins out again kind of towards the toe where our ventilation holes are. And then we've got kind of just a design element here with this top part kind of cutting back in, jutting back in. And that feels like it's right where the insole starts, so that's kind of an indicator of how deep this top is. It's like where this line is around it, kind of marks where that insole is starting. So this whole other area is all midsole. There's our line from the mold of these being mold injected. So it is integrated within the design, which is nice. It's not just this arbitrary line that is cutting through our midsole. It's right on the line of this this shape down here. So which that kind of mimics the top shape. So it's got a pretty cohesive design, as different as they are. Everything's kind of jiving with itself, which is good. And we've got a little bit of an arch gap here. And then our boom pods at the rear foot and the forefoot. This is very wide, which is interesting. So we've got a very wide footprint, very planted, stable footprint, it seems. Though there is a little bit of dynamic to the footbed. Kind of curves up at the front and at the back a little bit, which might create a little bit of a rolling effect on the heel, but probably not so much on the front. And then we've got these these rubber inserts, these inlays on the bottom, which will help with traction too. Whoops, I think on wet surfaces it had mentioned also. So, and I don't know what this serial number is down here. Almost looks like a date. We've got another number right here. who knows? And then a sizing sticker and a Way of Wade emblem icon on the bottom of the arch there too. And that's about it. Oh, there's our signature. Let's get a look at the insole, see if we can capture any of the ergo. I don't know how much is picking up in there. It looks like, all right, so we've got a rise where the heel is. It's raised a little bit here, and then it kind of slopes down a little bit where the arch is. I don't see a real prominent arch. It's risen a little bit where this emblem is for kind of an inside of the arch support, but over here it's relatively flat. And then it seems to kind of slope down a little bit for the forefoot, and then it curves up a little bit for the toes. And we've got this very subtle texture pattern on the heel, and it kind of is shaped like a foot almost. It wraps around that inner arch support, and then it goes up where the ball is and under the big toe. But as you can see, it is not under the other toes. So that's probably going to be something felt underfoot, especially barefoot. You'll notice a difference between the big toe and the little toes there, just how that texturing is. And it's raised a little bit, ever so slightly where that texture is. So we'll see what kind of tactile feel that has on barefoot. So let's throw them on foot now and see how these fit. They look pretty clean as far as all the cuts go, except for there's a little additional skin right here. I'm sure you can see it on the camera there. But other than that, it's not too bad. The rest of it's pretty clean. The holes are pretty clean. They look like they have a little variation from placement to placement, so I'm guessing these holes are being drilled manually. Okay, they're pretty relative though from shoe to shoe, or from side to side, because I just noticed that these two are close together and these two are also close together on the other one. So maybe they do have like a press that is going and drilling these out, just for those to be relative. But all right, let's throw them on foot. All right, they don't look massive, just side by side with the arch fit. They look kind of relative to the arch fit. But I think these are going to be casual regardless, just based on their design. It's kind of a loafer, slipper design. So as long as they're not too sloppy, we'll probably keep them. But, oh yeah, they don't feel too bad. I think they're good. I think they are good size-wise. So I just went down to an 11. And these are good. This is where my toe is, right there. So we've got a little room with our, it's kind of almost like an angled toe in a sense. Like it's not real boxed off, you know, it kind of comes to a point a little bit. So my toe's right there with the big toe, but then I've got more room. I've got like a good thumb width across where my smaller toes are on the end. So these are pretty good. And then it's wide enough too where my smaller toes aren't being smashed into the wall. So I think just going down a half size is good. At least for me, it worked out. And same fit on the other side. I think my left foot is just a little longer, but it's still relative. My big toe's right there. And then, oh yeah, this one fits a little more snug, a little different. I wonder if they had a different shrink rate between both of them, but they're both fit pretty good. They both feel okay, just slide in. So that's not too bad. And it's very easy slide in, just like a loafer or a slipper, just how open that back is, you know. These are definitely a casual, kind of a post-game, post-hooping, post-workout slide. So that's different for me to have like a closed toe. It's almost more like a mule, though we do have that little bit of a rise on the back, which kind of creates a bit of a heel cup. So it does kind of hold the foot in a little more than just an open-heeled mule or a slide would. So that's an interesting design. These are kind of different. I'm digging them so far. First slide-in impressions are pretty good. So they do feel like they're a little bit on the firmer side. I feel a little bit of compression under heel. So you can see where this texture is. It feels a little risen almost, like I've got an additional little pad right here where I'm sensing like maybe it's this, I don't know. There's just a little softer of a compression just immediately under heel compared to like the forefoot and under the ball. I'm just feeling almost like a little pillowy cushion there, like almost a little pillow top under the heel where it's compressing independently almost of like the midsole, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling like layers of compression because the midsole feels a little firmer, but there's this immediately surface compression that feels a little softer. That might just be within the insole too. So that's it's different. It's kind of a different sensation underfoot there. Let's start walking. And you know what? Let me take a sock off too, and we'll get that impression going sooner than later. Once we get the plastic shards from my carpet out of the shoe. It's from my work. Find that plastic everywhere. I'm slowly destroying the washer and dryer here. Every time I wash my work clothes, it leaves a deposit of plastic shards in the appliances down there. And I hear it in the dryer when I start it off. All this plastic goes up the exhaust tube, but I digress. All right, so these have a little bit of a weight to them. I can feel them under, just under my body. I feel like there's a little weight on my feet. It's not terrible, but it's a little noticeable. These are a little hefty for a pair of slides or a pair of mules. I think the foam is rather dense, which adds to that weight. A little bit of a chunky weight to them. But the walking impression is positive. There's nothing like really standing out in terms of like flaw of the design. I'm not feeling a whole lot of arch support, but I don't really have a void going on. I think there's enough support there to kind of be sufficient, because it's almost like I'm getting a little more support back here, like right here. I'm feeling a little bit of support because I'm getting a little more compression right here where the heel is. So as that compresses down, there's a little bit of a rise right here, and that is providing a little bit of support for the arch to where it doesn't feel like I have a void. It's not super supportive, but it's enough to make me content, I guess, as far as the arch support goes. So I've got a little bit of a heel rise, but not much. Let's get the down low angle and I can show you. All right, so there's a little bit of a heel rise, but it's not bad. The top comes back far enough on the foot that it's capturing the foot right there, which kind of prevents the heel rise from being too significant. There's a little bit, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's relative to a lot of other things. So that I wouldn't see that as a major negative. I just did notice there's a little emblem on the heel right there where the midsole is. If you can see that. I don't know what it is from here. Oh, it's like a little lizard. That must be unique to this colorway, since these are the lizard colorways. That's kind of cool. So these are very sci-fi looking, but they're like a retro sci-fi. They're not like too alien looking. I think these Skechers are a little more alien looking, just with the colorway. But these have like a 50s, like a 1950s retro sci-fi look to them, which is kind of cool. I think that's why I said like Jetsons. They've got like a Jetsons vibe. Like little pods, you know, little flying saucer pods. That's what these make me think of. So everything's positive so far. I really don't have any negatives to say about these. I'm kind of digging them. There isn't anything like really standing out where I feel like these are superior over anything. They're a good balance, you could say, but there's nothing about them that makes me scream like these are the epitome of comfort or anything like that, you know. They're just they're pretty good all around. Like these I can't think of like a major negative or a major positive about them. They're pretty solid. These are like a solid like B+ slide. So I'm kind of digging them. I do like the loafer slipper effect with them. That's something that's kind of unique that really kind of stands out a little bit. We can give them a little bit of a bonus for that, just for kind of difference of design. So these are pretty unique as far as that goes. I like the casual comfort about them. That's pretty good. And the ventilation seems sufficient too. I haven't had them on foot for very long, but those little holes in the toes, even though they're kind of basic looking, just having circular holes drilled into the toe like that, they're sufficient in terms of their function. Like I don't feel like it's trapping heat. But it also helps that the whole rear half of the foot is open too, which allows them to breathe pretty well. So the sizing's good with these. I would just say go down half a size. I think that's all you need to go down. I don't know if I'd go down a full size. Maybe if you're on a whole size, you could go down a full size, but you might run into having your toes a little crowded at that point. So I think the magic number is just going down half a size. So I would say these run half a size large. But other than that, I'm happy with going just down half a size with my 11s here. I think these fit pretty good. So, and they're pretty secure too on foot. Like they're not super floppy. So even though they're a very casual design, like the foothold is semi-sporty. So they don't feel like they're loosey-goosey, you know. Like that's a pretty good balance with fit, also with comfort. Like these are very well balanced. I give them good marks, good props. Good job, Wade. Good job, Dwayne Wade. Was that your name? I'm sorry. I don't do the basketballs. So yeah, these are good. These are good. I'm digging them. I like this color too. They are very firm. There's not much flex that's happening. I'm getting more of a roll than I am a flex within its form, which is fine as long as my foot is able to move, whether it be the footwear, like flexing with my foot, or just having a rolling effect. It works. It works too. Oh, the width is pretty good. I'd say these are pretty wide foot friendly. I've got a good amount of wiggle room throughout in the rear foot and in the forefoot. I've got a pretty good amount of wiggle room, so I would say these are pretty wide foot friendly. I'm not getting crowded anywhere. I'm not feeling pinched anywhere. So the width is pretty good. So these are solid, man. I really have nothing negative to say about these. I can't think of any other improvements either. Like this design is pretty distinct and pretty locked in. I don't know what they could do, what modifications they could make to it to improve its look. Like it's a very distinct look that I think is pretty solid, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know what modifications you could do to like tweak the style to make it any better. I can see it being a very polarizing style. You're probably gonna love it or hate it. I wasn't a huge fan of it initially. That's partly why I didn't order them right away. I thought they looked a little funky. I was like, I don't know. Those don't look very comfortable. They're kind of odd. But now that I've got them and got them on foot, they're not terrible looking. I think there was a comment that said they look better in person than in photo, and I'd have to agree with that. They do look a little better in person. They're still very, very polarizing though. I can see people not liking how these look, but they're pretty good though. As far as everything goes as far as the balance of the slide. So I would have to recommend these. These are pretty good. They could be a little squishier. There could be a little more compression because they are kind of on the mid tier as far as the compression goes and the foam goes. But they're not hard. I mean, they still have a little bit of a squish, a little bit of a compression, but it's not super squishy. It's not like the Skechers or like your Yeezy products. It's not squishy like that, but it's an adequate compression. It's not bad, and it probably varies based on your body weight. But yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. I feel the bounce. I feel the bounce. Try to get a look at the compression. So, and they're barefoot friendly too. That texture isn't really very prominent underfoot. I feel it. I don't really notice it between the big toe and the little toes. Like I mentioned, there might be a different sensation there. That feels all relative. That footbed texture is very mild, so it's there. I can feel it underfoot, but it's not aggressive. It's not like a sadistic Adidas that makes you hurt when you put them on. Their Adissage and whatnot, you know, where it's like a bed of nails. We don't have that going on. It's not a sadist slide. So, all right, I think we should wrap this up before this gets too long. So not bad, not bad. These are pretty good. All right, the Way of Wade slides in the lizard colorway. These are pretty good. I dig them. They're very well balanced slide. There isn't anything that really stands out in terms of their comfort, which makes them like outstanding or you know, anything that I really need to address. It's pretty casual fit, pretty casual comfort, pretty mid-tier foam. It's not super squishy, but it's not really hard either. It's kind of in the middle of the road, so it's a happy balance if you're not someone that doesn't really like things that are too soft or too hard. It's a good Goldilocks foam, we'll leave it at that. And then I think the most polarizing thing about them is the style, is the look of them. You probably either love or hate how they look. I never really cared for how they look too much, but they don't bother me now that I have them and they're on foot. I don't need these, but I will probably keep them just because they're the wow slides. And I think if I'm going to have this channel, that I need to have items such as these that are kind of standalone in terms of design and stuff that I can use as comparison in future videos. So I'm kind of forced with keeping them at that point, which isn't a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing, but I don't need these. I've got so many at this point. But hey, it comes with the territory. If I want to do this channel, I need to buck up. So, all right, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching. This was a viewer requested slide, so thanks to that viewer who requested them. You got me to finally acquire them. So yeah, these are good. I recommend them. I think that's everything I have to say. If there's anything else that comes to mind while I'm editing this footage, I will make some notations. So until then, we will, well, I mean, not until then, but thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your experiences with the wow slides, the Way of Wade slides. And if you have any other requests, also feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. So thanks guys, I appreciate you. Cheers, take care.